So you can see from the packaging, this is not your average Spinnaker watch. This is a limited edition Boettiger, which is an homage to a pretty awesome Sinn, the 809. It's actually a very rare watch. And when they came out with this watch 2 years ago, it came out in a limited edition run of 500. It was stainless steel on a bracelet. They've made some changes to the watch and they've come out with another 500, and it is a limited edition. And now it is on a rubber strap, which is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to get right into it. The packaging is really nice. It's a real waterproof box, so there's gaskets and everything. You have two latches that unlatch and it pops open. Inside you have a little diagram of the dial, because the dial is really special on this watch. It's really a beautiful dial, as you could see. And then all of the owner information, the manual, and the warranty card comes in a little bubble wrapped package here, which is kind of a nice touch. I've already worn this watch a few times because I was so excited when it came. I actually took the hang tag. Hang tag is actually inside here. So I've actually been wearing it for a few days, and I have to say it is a very comfortable watch, and that has a lot to do with the strap and the case design. So the case design is obviously an integrated bracelet watch. A lot of that design is coming from that Sinn 809, and especially the dial. Now, the star of the show for me is definitely the dial. You have a matte blue dial, just says Spinnaker right there. It's sort of an applied Spinnaker. It says automatic. You have a date. Very, very simple dial, but it's actually very complex. There are two other parts to this dial. There is a little crown that sort of sits down on that dial that has all of these indices that are actually raised against the flat sapphire crystal, which has AR coating and is beveled. And then on top of that, another minute ring goes on top. So in other words, there are three parts to the dial. You have the dial, then you have that little crown with the indices, and then you have a chapter ring that sort of holds that in place. Now, the reason why that's pretty awesome is because you have those indices and they're up against the glass. It gives an extra level of legibility. Also, the hands go underneath the indices rather than on top. Just a little bit different from your average watch, and I really like the look of it. And I think it's actually pretty legible. And the way that they've designed it, it looks really good. Also, you get a bezel on here. It's a ratcheting bezel because you have 300 meters of water resistance, so you get a dive timer. And the bezel action is excellent. Now, considering that, and let's listen to that. Considering that there are three pieces, the dial, the bezel, and then the other two pieces that make up that chapter ring, everything lines up perfectly, which is, I would imagine, pretty hard because of the fact that there are so many other parts that you have to actually line up with. So I really do like that they did that, and everything is loomed. So the hands are loomed. You get really chunky hands on here. Let's do measurements very quickly. We'll talk about price. I'll throw it on my wrist. It's a 42 millimeter watch. It wears like a 42 millimeter, maybe a 41 millimeter, somewhere around there. It's a true 42 millimeter. You get a crown that's somewhere around the 4 o'clock location, and then the lug to lug is large, and that is because you do not have you have male end links, obviously, but it is an integrated bracelet, so it's about 58 millimeters, but it does curve down really well. On my wrist, I think it wears well, but if you have a small wrist, this might be an issue at that 58 millimeters, but it is thin at 12.9 millimeters thick. It's about 12 millimeters, not including the sapphire crystal. Really, really nice. And a pretty sizable crown. I think it's around 6 millimeters is what I measured before, 6.3, so that makes sense. The strap itself is really another sort of star of the show, I would call it. You have a really nice integration from the actual case. So you have this little jut out of the case that meets the strap, and then you have a little bit of a raised area that sort of disappears into the mid area of the strap. This is a blue strap, tapers really nicely into a beautiful buckle that is brushed and bead blasted, and it is also PVD coated. Like the rest of the case, it has a gunmetal finish, PVD coating. You get really nice polishing along the case as well. The case back is in stainless steel, and there's a little bit of a lip that actually peeks out along the side of the watch, which adds a little bit of visual appeal when it's on your wrist. And you do get a chamfered edge all the way around the watch, and then on the bezel as well, you have notching, and there's polishing, brushing, and then cross sort of cross pattern on the actual bezel for grip. Nice grippy crown as well, as I mentioned, 6.3 millimeters. So I do like that they put a stainless steel case back on here. I think it looks really good. The stainless steel case back is screwed in. You do get 300 meters of water resistance because you get a screwed in crown, screwed in case back. Honestly, that's a lot. This is sort of like a dressy diver, which is great. This gets a Miyota 9015, so it gets a Miyota 9000 series movement. 9015 because you do have that date there, which has a little bit of a window around it, which looks good. I could have done without the date, especially with this dial. I think it looks pretty awesome, but I think they put the date on there because it's a crowd pleaser, and I get that. Like I said, the strap is really soft, supple, and you get a lot of little grooves in the back for relief of sweat and heat, and it just signed Spinnaker right there. Price on these are $650. It is a limited edition, so $650 US. Usually they offer discounts on watches. I'm pretty sure you'll probably be able to get a discount on this. I'm not sure if they limit this to any discounts. However, $650 I think is a very good price for this watch because you're getting a lot of watch, and the strap is beautiful. The dial is beautiful. The case is really nicely done. 42 millimeters on the larger side for some, but I think it actually fits my wrist really well. Like I've said, I've been wearing this for a couple of days and I've really enjoyed it. Usually Spinnaker do a good job with lume, so we'll do a lume shot very quickly. I'm going to throw it on my wrist so you could see what I'm talking about, and then we will do a quick lume shot and wrap up the video. So today I am wearing the Bulova A15. It's a watch that I've actually had for quite some time, and I have not actually worn it. And it is a pretty awesome watch. It has two inner rotating bezels. This gets an 8 series Miyota movement, and it's around 600 and change. So obviously an expensive watch for what you're getting. And I do like it though a lot. You can get them heavily discounted. Just a really cool watch, a military watch. Obviously, it was a prototype. They made 500 of it. Never actually went into real production, but it's a reissue, obviously made by Citizen, but pretty cool. So here is the Boettiger on my 7.5 inch wrist. One of the cool things about this strap is there is a little notch on the end of the strap itself, as you can see right there, and that sort of keeps this end keeper from going over the edge of the strap itself, and it keeps it in place, which I think is a really nice touch. So it keeps that closer to the wrist, and it looks a lot better. It doesn't actually flare out. Just a nice little touch, which I think works really well. So there you go, 7.5 inch wrist. That lug to lug does not bother me. Obviously, 42 millimeters on the case. You have a 4 o'clock crown, does not dig. Just a beautifully made watch and a really good looking watch in my opinion. I think they did an excellent job. They've taken some liberties from that 809, but they've taken a lot of the design cues from that 809 as well. And I think they've done a really good job with it. Very, very interesting looking watch. I love the colors, the gunmetal, the blue dial, the blue strap. Just everything comes together really well on this watch. The packaging is great as well. $650 I think is on the higher end. Higher price, excuse me, but I think it's definitely worth the money because of the attention to detail and quality that they've actually put into this watch. Let's check out the lume. Usually, as I mentioned, Spinnaker, very good with lume. Let's check it out and see what they've done. So the lume is very bright. What they have lumed is very, very bright. So the indices, the hands, even the lollipop on the second hand, and then you have a little pip right there. Everything is lumed very brightly, so liberally applied with lume. I wish that they lumed the bezel because I think that would be a really nice touch on this watch. Unfortunately, they did not. However, I get it. I think it looks excellent. 300 meters of water resistance, integrated bracelet, gunmetal finish, those raised indices. You could see the hands actually go underneath those indices. You could see right there that indice is sort of blocking the minute hand right there. Very cool touch, and obviously not easy to do, I don't think. So I really do enjoy the dial on here. I think this is a very good looking watch. It's definitely my favorite Spinnaker of all time. I think that this is one of the nicest watches that they have put together. Definitely one of the best looking. But tell me what you guys think in the comments below. What do you think of this watch? What do you think of the Sinn 809? Obviously a very hard watch to get, so if you really like that watch, this is a really awesome value, a really awesome option to get instead of that watch. But tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel and I very much appreciate it. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog. I have some links in the description. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. However, I very much appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the